Welcome to Brainwreck. I'm Jason X.
And I'm Kevin Graham.
And this is the best show on the internet.
Oh, we got a little gusto in there.
Yeah, it's getting wacky over here. Like we're just coming off a hurricane.
I know.
You know, there's all sorts of weather out there. It's the spooky season.
It is officially Halloween.
So many things are happening.
So happy Halloween to everybody.
Yeah.
And to all those who celebrate. If you don't, that's cool too. You know, don't always have to get into the spooky season if that's not your thing. However, I've been
Dios de Muertos.
Stop that. You stop that right now. Jesus Christ. I was going to say, I feel like, you know, around here we've been just like itching to get right into it. So, you know, we've got, you know, a couple things laid out. I feel like this weekend it's going to be time to bust out all the fancy Halloween decor.
You know, I saw a guy.
Yeah.
Around the neighborhood. He's setting up. You know, around here, typically there's a few houses that go pretty hard.
Sure.
You know, around the neighborhood. We're in a pretty safe neighborhood. Go around the circle. So, like, people feel, you know, safe letting their kids out trick-or-treat and stuff. So, a couple people go hard with the decorations. But I saw this one guy setting up. I'm like, brother, there's a hurricane coming. Like, it's not a smart decision. Like,
but he's got his mind set on it.
You know, when you got a day, you know, when you've planned a day.
Oh, yeah.
Hell or high water, you know, Mother Nature or not.
It was kind of like, you know, when my dad would start taking down the Christmas decorations almost immediately. Like the moment there was just like a breath of decent weather, it'd be like, it's all coming down. And you would like go to the other room and come back. And wouldn't you know, that shit would be boxed up.
All of it.
In the attic. Not a single light strand on the house anymore. The next day, fucking blizzard.
And he got it in. Got it in. That's like, you know, that's a pro. That's a man that knows his area.
He does know his area. Except for that time he fell off the roof putting up lights. But that's, you know.
Oh, he Griswold it?
Oh, yo, it was fucking hysterical because my brother and I watched it happen.
Oh, really?
Well, we were inside the house.
Okay.
And like we're talking to each other like face to face, and then to like my right, his left is our front door, and there's like a little window in the door, and we know he's out there like on the ladder, like putting shit up.
Sure.
And all of a sudden we just hear like a clatter, and then we look over and
he just goes down.
We just see the body. We pop out, and we're like, "You okay?" Yeah, he gets back up and finishes.
Well, that's a pro.
Yeah,
that's a goddamn pro.
So, and I feel like that's kind of where I'm heading right now with the Halloween stuff. We don't have any real like outdoor decorations, but you know, this house, it's about to become spook central.
Oh,
I mean, we still got the shit up from last year.
I mean, why take it down?
Yeah, like at that point,
it's dope.
You know, it's part of the house, you know, but we got all that stuff we bought at Disney. Was it earlier this year? Last year?
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God, was that earlier this? That was last Christmas.
Yes.
This past Christmas.
It was past Christmas because you came down for Christmas, but then you also came down for the Rumble.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So it was right after Halloween.
That's right.
We were there for Christmas. So we got all that discount Disney
the outlet,
which we both, I think, kind of forgot about that we had for a little while. And I'm like, oh, it's perfect time to bust that out. So got the throw pillows, the decanters. Oh, I'm so excited. This, I don't know why, but like this is like my favorite time of the year.
Halloween's awesome.
Halloween's awesome. But like more so than Christmas.
There's a lot of pressure with Christmas.
Yes.
It's not stress.
A lot of external pressure.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
Like a lot of, and the thing about it too is it's the end of the year. So like at work, you got a lot of people racing.
Sure. Gotta get them numbers.
To get their numbers in. I feel like you've either got a lot of people racing to get their numbers in, or you got a lot of people that are like, listen, it's the 10th. I've checked out.
Yeah. See you in the new year.
You in the like. Listen, after next week, we have a week off, and then I'm taking an extra 4 days. Like,
I always felt like after Pearl Harbor, like,
oh, this goes way back.
country down. You know, just like it's over. It's over till the ball drops.
Yeah,
But
I feel
anyway,
like, yeah.
Talk about the getting into the spooky spirit. Talked about this last week.
Yes.
Over this past weekend, me and the missus went to a spooky event.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about this.
Yes, we went to the Busch Gardens Hollow Scream, as it were. It was very interesting. We talked about when we went to Six Flags over Texas, that there was the Six Flags difference, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was different. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, I've been to Universal Studios Horror Nights, right? Before. So I was very interested to see how Busch Gardens kind of held up in comparison. Now, let me tell you, there is a Busch Gardens difference.
Really? Okay. How does it compare to the Six Flags difference?
Oh, it is far superior. It's not even close. Six Flags is in a fucking like league of its own. Okay.
It's kind of like there's the Sylvan Beach experience, and then there's the Six Flag experience, and then there's everything else.
Yes. Right. Yeah. I think that's, well, yeah. And then you got like, I think even below that is like, you know, your state fair carnival experience, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
But Busch Gardens was interesting in the sense that it was the day after the hurricane hit.
Oh, yeah, you cut that close.
Oh, we were worried. We thought for sure like the it was going to get canceled or whatever, because
my buddy had just gone down there for Horror Nights, and like he was there, I think the first night he went down, and then they canceled like the next couple of days.
Yeah, we were watching you know, their social media and everything like that, and they had canceled, or they had shut the park down for the day before,
right?
But which was Thursday, but Friday they were unsure what was going to happen.
Gotcha.
And midday they posted that they were going to open the park up at 1 and that Horror Nights was still going to happen. We were like, oh fuck, or you know, Hollow Scream was still going to happen. So like, that's great. So going there, and I think this was kind of a unique experience because of the circumstances, right? It was dead. It was absolutely dead.
Oh, okay.
And it was awesome. It was the best premium Halloween experience I've ever had.
Really?
Better than Horror Nights.
Really?
And here's why.
Okay.
It was better than Horror Nights, and again, this may be situational.
Okay.
Because of what was going on. We did every experience that was offered for the event. We did every house. We did every scare zone. We even watched both shows that were offered during the event.
Wow.
And the only thing that I could say that was, and again, probably due to the experience, there were some spots in some houses that it was noticeable that like, there's a scare actor missing here. He called in sick. His house may be gone. I'm not sure. Like,
yeah, they told Frank, "Hey, we know you're dealing with a lot.
Yeah, you're dealing with a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's you don't have to put on the makeup tonight. Right. It's okay."
Yeah.
So, with that being said, there are some downsides to it, which I'll talk about here. One of them being what they call the scare zones. So a scare zone is a walkway in the park, just a regular walkway that they decorate sometimes with theming, and they'll put like some scare actors out there. So while you're walking from house to house, you've got something to do, some sort of attraction. And Universal Studios, like theirs is themed to the gills. Like they got props, they have, you know, 20-ish actors roaming around in one area at a time. Like it's populated. There's a lot going on. There's smoke. There's all sorts of things. Busch Gardens, they had themed areas, and there were props.
Mm-hmm.
Those themes were very loose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, one was Las Vegas zombies, which sounds fucking awesome, right?
I mean, that movie sounded awesome in theory.
When you go to the zone, the Las Vegas area is the outside of a motel motif. Okay. So, like, okay, like, this could be Las Vegas. This could be Boca Raton. I don't know where. Like, it could be anywhere. Like, it's a fucking motel.
Yeah.
And they have 3 zombies. And you're like, oh, well, okay.
Again, they gave Frank the night off.
They gave Frank the night off. Probably circumstantial.
Yeah.
Another one that was pretty unique was they had a kind of a horror themed Christmas tree lot. Was the theme of the scare zone.
Okay.
And
like, was it Christmas but horror, or was it like still like these are just trees but horror?
It was set up as if you were going to this is a callback for probably only Patrick and Ryan who are watching the show. If you went to Hafner's,
yep.
Okay. And you're going to like an old school Hafner's Christmas tree lot.
Yep.
And there were like the dudes with chainsaws.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the fucking wild thing, and this is also the Busch Gardens difference, right? Mm-hmm. They had what was essentially a ticket booth at the Christmas tree lot to where you would pay for your Christmas tree. And then they had a woman's skeleton who was like answering the phone and all bloody and shit. And the reason I knew it was a woman was because her tits were cut off and hanging off the fucking prop. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, this is some fucking R-rated goddamn extreme shit.
Some Terrifier shit right there.
Right, which you would not find in Universal.
No.
The other thing you wouldn't find in Universal was one of the houses that we went into was vampire themed.
Yeah.
But it turns out that it's BDSM vampire themed dungeon. And like you're walking through it and you're like, oh, that's rad. Oh, okay. Wow.
You know, for the longest time, my stance on Universal was always like, it's the cooler older brother in a way. Like, it's where the adults go. You know, they're going to get like a couple of beers and they're just going to roam around the parks. It's not going to be as busy and congested as Disney. You know, Horror Nights is going to be more of like your adult friendly type ordeal. Based on what you're telling me, I'm now thinking fucking Busch Gardens fucks.
Yo, Busch Gardens is like your older stepbrother, like, who like really doesn't give a fuck. And
he pulls out a bear. You want one?
Yeah, you want
14. Like, so no.
and so it was a really fun time. It was a really fun time. Another downside too, and they don't tell you this, is that they are rides open while you're there, and it's a roller coaster park. So like you could spend your time jumping on a no-line roller coaster. What they don't tell you is that you are not allowed to bring any type of bag on the ride, and they have no spot for you to put that bag.
Oh,
you are forced to go rent a locker, and I'm like, I'm not paying. Like, if you would have told me ahead of time, I would have left it in the car. Would have left it in the car.
Even Six Flags has the bin.
You know, right? Anything.
Like, what the fuck? Just get a tote. Let's put a tote out. It's fine.
Exactly. But other than that, it was a hell of a time.
That's good.
10 out of 10 would recommend. It is more than half the price of a Horror Nights ticket and just as much fun.
All right. See, one of the things that I've been doing is looking around Austin for whatever spooky stuff they got coming up. And there's a good amount of what I think are going to be like reasonably priced or free to attend type stuff.
Okay.
So hoping maybe we can get out there for some
You should. You should. It's a grand time. And the thing is, like, and Blakely was saying this. She's like, I feel weird because like these people are trying to scare me, and I'm not scared, and I'm just smiling and laughing at them. And it's like, but that's the thing. That's the fun, you know?
I personally do not believe that any scare actor will be offended if you aren't scared at them. I feel like they just want you to be engaged.
Sure, of course.
You know, just like, oh, hey, great job. Like there's one channel that I watch on YouTube where the guy will usually go and like do horror nights every year, and he'll like go through the houses and stuff, and you know, people will jump out to scare him, and he's just like, that's great, awesome, good job, thank you. You know, just stuff like that. And I feel like at the end of the day, listen, like everybody kind of knows the deal.
Sure.
You know,
everyone's in on the gimmick.
People are going to get scared, you know, but I feel like a lot of people who are going to go just want to have a fun time. And if
it was
they're
a
just
hell of a
like,
time.
hey, man, great costume. You really got me. I'm sure that they're going to be like, cool, man.
Yeah, we did actually get a couple gimmick drinks.
Okay. What did they have for the gimmicks?
So for the gimmick drinks, and I think there was a little false advertising.
Oh.
Because so you could buy, we went to the Blood Bar, vampire themed setup, and they had like the IV bags full of booze that you could drink. We got the syringe Jello shot thing,
of
course, and then we got a drink called the Poison Apple, which is like a rum drink or whatever the case may be. So you could buy the Poison Apple drink for $14. Or for $17, you could get them. I got to talk about the Croc Kid. For $17, you could get the souvenir cup, which they promoted as a black light cup. So I'm like, fuck yes. Like that's.
What? Does it black light?
No. The thing is, there is a black light in the cup so that your drink. No, it's storming.
I heard that.
Oh, it's storming like a motherfucker out there. Like this is spooky shit. So there is a black light in the bottom of the cup, so your drink glows.
Okay.
And it's actually kind of neat because it turns on automatically when there's a liquid in the cup and then shuts off. What? So for $3, like
you're getting an experience.
I'm getting an experience, but it's not a black light cup.
Right.
Which I was like, guys, like you had one job.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like Busch Gardens has the technology.
I mean, they're not fucking around. So to get to the Croc Kid, this was fucking awesome. So we had done all the houses, we had done everything. It was getting late, and we're like, well, there was one maze that we did during the day. We didn't do it at night. So like, oh, let's go back and do it at night. And it's like a cornfield maze type of thing. So we're walking up to it, and they have a chainsaw guy at the front of it. And we're watching, and in front of us is, this teen kid and his date or whatever. And he gets so fucking, good God almighty.
This is an intense story about Croc.
Yeah, I know. It's going wild out there. So we're walking, and we see them in front of them, and the chainsaw guy comes out of nowhere, and the guy jumps literally out of his Crocs and starts running. And and there's a Croc in front of the chainsaw guy, and the teen kid is like, he's freaking out, like talking shit to the guy, and the guy's just standing there in front of the Croc with the chainsaw, just taunting him. And we're just watching, and we're laughing. So Blakely just walks over and like walks over the Croc and chainsaw and just keeps going like, you fucking pussy. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful time. Again, 10 out of 10 would recommend.
See, and I feel like there are more things like that people might just not even consider as like an experience to go check out, because like it's not the big one.
Right.
Or maybe it's a little bit more, low budget in a way. But those also tend to be ones that could be more fun.
You got to manage your expectations.
You got to manage your exactly. You have to manage your expectations, but also it kind of allows everybody to be on the same level.
Sure.
If you manage your expectations.
Right.
So like everybody around you, like you're all kind of on the same wavelength, and it's just a good vibe. You know, like we're all just here to chill, get spooky.
We all survived the hurricane, so like
you all survived the hurricane, so you got that.
Apparently, it's coming back.
Hopefully not. Yeah, hope you guys get out of there.
Right.
So, well, that's fun.
That is fun.
And then I saw you got a little Frankenstein.
Yep, we got a little Mold-a-rama, as it were. Big fan of the Mold-a-ramas. Didn't really know much about them till moving here, and they had a bunch of them around the park, so that was really cool. They had a witch. They had the Frankenstein. They had a Frankenstein head, which didn't look as good as the Frankenstein, so that's why I got the body. Yeah. They had a devil, which was interesting. They had a clown, which was I guess some people are afraid of clowns. They had a skull. So like they had a couple options, but I thought it was weird that they had a Universal monster in a non-Universal theme park. I mean, it is public domain, so like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, like it is like Frankenstein is Frankenstein. I mean, like anybody can do Frankenstein, but you can't do. I mean, you could do any of the characters.
Oh yeah,
you just can't do the Universal style characters. Yeah,
yeah.
But obviously, the money there is with the licensing.
Absolutely. So it was a great time.
Good.
Now, have you thought about going to the Six Flags one? Have you ever thought about setting up your own?
I mean, I've thought about a lot of things. Have I ever like seriously thought about it? No.
Because the thing is, like, we've been watching a lot of the Halloween specials.
Yeah.
You know, and there's always like the Halloween special of like, we're building the haunted house in the garage or in the yard for the trick or treat. And it's like one of those things of like, that's such a commitment.
Sure.
Like you have to like, you can't just like do a couple scares for me. Like you're there all night.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I would not want to do like the big, like scare grounds or the big haunted attraction that everybody goes to. Like I would like to maybe one day, like do a crazy in-home setup and just throw like a banger of a party.
Oh, sure.
You know, that like goes through multiple rooms. There's a thing in the backyard. There's like a little maze to get out there, like something like that. I don't see it's one of those things where I don't want to be the one who does it. I want to be the one who experiences it.
That's the thing.
You know, yeah, exactly. Like I would love to be the person that shows up, doesn't have to deal with the setup, the teardown, the liabilities.
You just want yours.
I just want I just want to show up, have a cocktail or two,
sure,
see some scares,
right?
Listen to some spooky music, buy some merch, get scared, meet some people, go home.
See,
yeah.
Oh, Kevin's a selfish spooker.
Yeah. Very selfish spooker. Listen, when it comes to getting spooked, it's me first.
That's right. That's right.
Me first, then you. You come after.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
But after.
But I mean, I'm more than happy to, you know, like work something out and
sure,
maybe,
right,
you know, and share a little bit, you know,
right,
a little for you, a little for me.
Sure,
but, you know, I'm going first.
Well, they usually get the first one first, so
exactly. Well, that's cool. Anything else you guys got going on for like the spooky season? Like anything coming up? You know, you talk a lot about the drive-ins and checking out the Universal monster flicks.
Yeah, so we did bust out the Universal monsters. We did a little craft night.
Nice.
To which actually, hold on, let me.
Dude, I saw this on Instagram.
Check this out.
The other day when you posted that.
So this is a 3D printed McDonald's Happy Meal little bucket.
That does
actually open.
Yo.
Look at that. Look at that. We 3D printed that ourselves, and then we did a little paint party.
Hell yeah.
While we watched The Invisible Man.
Oh yeah?
We watched The Mummy first.
Mm-hmm.
And that did not go well.
No.
It did not.
Okay.
Because you see, the original Universal The Mummy is a boring ass fucking movie.
I mean, listen, when it comes to the Universal monster movies, the classics, you're buying the novelty.
Oh, totally.
I'm sorry to say, folks, like, I love them. I support them. But you're buying the novelty.
I'm officially here. Oh, this just in. Hold on. So the boy, these kids. Can I tell you something about these kids? All about taking the easy way out.
Yeah.
Okay. The boy did the ghost.
Okay.
Which it was printed in white.
So we just did the yellow face.
Fucking kids, right?
Yeah.
The daughter did. She's still working on hers.
Yeah.
But it's almost done. She did the witch, which has the witch hat.
That's dope.
It's got some detail
going
on there. So that's pretty dope. And then the wife did this one. That she did the classic Jack-o'-lantern. Very, very nice. And they do glow and black light. There's supposed to be a handle that goes on there. We didn't print the handle.
I mean, yeah, it's
what are we doing?
It's an extra piece.
Right, exactly. Like,
who's got time?
We'll do that later.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was wonderful. But so I support all the Universal monster movies except for The Mummy.
Okay.
There's some unfortunate things in that movie.
Things that don't really hold up well after 100 years.
Yeah. When it's a movie in Egypt, right?
Yeah.
There's not an Egyptian in that movie. Not a single. There is black people in the background. There is a main character who is a black servant who is not black. Who is in blackface, which is not great. And a white Egyptian princess. And
well, I mean, and they also made that. There was also the movie that came out, I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago, like Gods of Egypt, starring Christian Bale and Joel Edgerton. Like, the two whitest guys you can find.
Like, I understand name power, but like couldn't we done like Sweden? It would have made more sense.
I don't know if that would have made more sense, but like, there are Egyptian. I mean, at least for today's standards, like there are Egyptian actors and actresses out there that you can cast. Like the 20s and 30s. I mean, it was an unfortunate time for casting.
It really was. It really was. Yeah. I am happy to say that The Invisible Man much better.
Okay.
Than The Mummy.
Yeah.
There's still some problems, but
you're gonna get that
mainly. And Blakely was the first to point this out, is that in both movies, the damsel, the woman, is told that she is in love with the main character, and then becomes, and then is like, I am, and then like, yes, you are, then is like, okay,
she's gaslit.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
Yeah.
And then Blakely was like, you don't know how often this happens. This happens all the time.
Oh, I'm sure this is all the time. Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
So like, that's not great. But as far as like a plot and story, The Invisible Man, much better than The Mummy. And so I think the next one that we're going to go for is The Wolfman, which I'm very excited about. So I will return to report on the spooky movies as we do them.
Very much looking forward to that. Well, as we talk about the spooky movies, I think we talked a little bit. We may have alluded to this last week. I think we may have just talked about it off air. But one of the things that I had thought about last week was, going to the cinema. this time of year. It's great. There should be more horror movies out, but competition, things like that. You don't want to overflood.
Or you could be like Disney and release the Haunted Mansion in July.
Yeah, you could release all your spooky season movies in the middle of summer, late spring. Like I actually do find like end of the year, like December, January, actually do pretty well.
Totally,
because there's really not much out around those times.
Well, you throw your fucking turkey in for Thanksgiving. You go to
Yeah,
the theater.
Exactly. So one of the things I thought could be fun to look at tonight was a list of movie theater gimmicks.
Ooh,
related to various horror movies that came out way back in the day.
Okay.
So because around like the 50s, I want to say like the mid to late 50s, early 60s, I feel like this was a trend that really started to blow up and then kind of like died really quickly. Maybe not so died, but a lot of theaters, I would say, got sick and tired of all the shenanigans.
Sure.
And they're like, listen, we don't want to have to go through all the logistics of setting this up for your movie.
It's why they stopped playing Rocky Horror. Like, somebody's got to clean all that up.
Somebody's got to clean this shit up at the end,
Right.
But yeah, so we're going to talk about like different like theater gimmicks and stuff that like some of the directors were doing. But I'm curious to know from you, have you ever been to a movie in theaters that had some kind of gimmick attached to it? Even like a D-box, because I feel like the D-box is very much the gimmick of today.
I have no idea what a D-box is.
You don't know what a D-box is?
I don't know what a D-box is.
Brother, these have been out for like years now.
D-box,
those are the seats.
Is that the 4D?
Yeah, it's the 4D. So like the seats move along with the movie. Like if you're watching Fast and the Furious, like they'll drift with the cars, and they'll have like little smells that smell like burning rubber, which is exactly what you want to be smelling while you're at a movie.
Totally.
Some might have like fans and little squirts of water, that kind of thing.
I mean, there's been a few gimmicks. Like, I paid hard-earned money to see The Phantom Menace in 3D. And the only fucking thing in 3D were the goddamn subtitles.
Right.
That the fucking Wada was saying. Like, eat a dick, Lucas.
3D. I love the idea of 3D. At no point did 3D ever work in a way that made me want to go back and see a 3D movie.
The only one where I was like, wow, was Avatar. And that's because the technology was so new still.
Yeah.
That it was the first time you ever see it. I didn't want to see it again.
No.
It's a long ass fucking boring movie.
I don't want to see that movie, period. I still haven't. But I do like they say in Muppet Vision 3D.
Vision 3D is the best 3D movie that's ever been made.
But like even when 3D was out, at like late 2000s, early 2010s, I was like, can we please stop with this fucking gimmick?
Yeah.
Like, can we just stop? And I think there are still theaters that do 3D movies.
Oh, totally. There's still IMAX 3D and all that shit.
But I'm like, what production company is still converting their movie into 3D?
I mean, nobody's shooting for 3D.
Nobody, like, even when it was a fad at that time, not many movies were being shot in 3D. Which the only way for a movie to really excel in the 3D space is if it is shot for
specifically 3D. For 3D.
It's kind of like how, showing a movie in IMAX, it's just watching a movie on a really big screen because most movies aren't shot with IMAX cameras.
Totally. Yeah.
So there's no fucking point to pay more money to go see a movie on a bigger screen.
I mean, I just saw Beetlejuice. What we saw in IMAX.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, that's large.
That's very large.
And that's it.
I didn't mind the RPX back in Syracuse when it was Regal because that was like a happy middle ground.
The thing is, I will gladly pay more money for a more comfortable seat.
Yes.
Than a bigger screen.
Yes. And the RPX and the IMAX did have a better theater with more comfortable seating. I will say that. So it was worth it for that. But for like the movie watching experience,
yeah,
eat shit.
It's all the same.
Yeah. So All right, kind of similar. Never really been in a movie gimmick outside of like your 3D movies, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Back in the day,
yeah,
they were going crazy with this shit.
With the gimmicks?
With the gimmicks. Oh, let me tell you about these gimmicks. And I'm going to start off with one movie, which came out in 1922.
Okay.
This goes back more than 100 years.
Okay.
Not necessarily a horror movie.
All right.
From what I understand. But the movie is called The Power of Love. Oh my God, he just... Wait, did he go? Are we here? Hang on. He just cut out. Am I here? Uh-oh. I think our stream just went down, folks. I don't know. Hang on. Let me see if I can tap into this real quick. Don't go anywhere. I'm still here. All right, let me try to jump in. He said, just lost power. Let's see. Do. This will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if this works. Okay, folks. I don't know if I'm live. I don't know. Wait, hang on. Came right. Okay, so Jason Axe lost power. I don't know if I'm still here. I don't know if you can still see me. I think maybe we're not unable to go live. Okay, so I think we're still live. Don't quote me if we're not, but I'm going to check. It looks like we're still live. But Jason Axe currently is without power. Seems like it just came back on. I see that I am still live, so that's good. I said, came right back. We'll be on when internet reboots. Don't worry. I'm doing great on my own. See you when you get here. And then we're going to sign, seal, and deliver that. Let's see. Yep. Okay. That is going out. Scooter. Okay. Thank you, Scooter. I appreciate that. So yeah, he should be back. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead. I'm still going to talk about this flick. I'll catch him up to speed later. Okay. So you got The Power of Love coming out in 1922. So what was interesting about this movie? Yes, you. Oh, hey, great. Okay, hang on a minute. I'm looking at. Let's see. Where did my other thing go? Ah, there we go. This is the thing I want to be looking at.
Am I in the air? Kevin? Hold on, folks. All sorts of craziness going on. I think I booted Kevin off. There's a wild storm going on out there. It's an electrical nightmare. Hey Google, turn on the podcast light. There we go. It's a little. A little better. Let's see what's going on here. Trying to figure out what's happening, what's real. Hey Google, turn on the podcast. Okay, so I'm on. So Kevin, if you can hear the feed, which I don't think he can. I think he's just going. That's what Kevin does. Is he just he becomes focused on a task, and sorry, Scooter. It's the only way I can turn these things on. Like, that's the thing. That's the problem with having smart lights and outlets, is you can't turn them on. I mean, I guess I could have with my phone, but like I'm doing a lot of things. Like the whole point of having the house of the future is so that you don't have to use your hands. Because like I need my hands for all sorts of things. I need them typing, gesturing. Like how are you supposed to know how I'm feeling unless I have the digits available? So Kevin was going to run the show with his movie Gimmick, so I don't really have much to talk about. How are you doing, Scooter? Sleeping good? Having a good time? How's the mail? Doing all right? So yeah, so we saw Beetlejuice. That was pretty spooky. We already talked about that on the show. We saw The Invisible Man. We can talk more about The Invisible Man. The problem with The Invisible Man is that there's too much screaming in the movie. So the spoilers. The Invisible Man, male is flowing. That you know, that's good to know. I saw prices went up, for the holiday season, but is what it is, I suppose. So the problem with The Invisible Man is that it's too much screaming, and it's a movie of its time. Like, could you imagine going to a bed and breakfast, like just walking in and being like, "Do you have a room?" Like back in the day, like you could call, I suppose, make a reservation, but a lot of times you just showed up. Like, hey, you got a room? Sure. How long are you staying? I don't know, a month or two? Like, fuck. How do you prepare for that? Guess you don't, right? So like that happens in The Invisible Man. And then the woman who owns the bed and breakfast is fucking screaming like the whole fucking time. You're like, lady, you can't see him. And it has like the hokiest effects that are just hilarious. But at the time, mind-blowing. There's nobody there. It's goddamn floating scarf. Whatever this shit. Text Kevin real quick, see if he's going to join us or if he's have you gotta rejoin the stream. So let me talk about one thing I'm going to talk about is this Vince documentary. I saw 4 episodes of the Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix, and it's quite the piece. It's quite the history piece, watching it with the wife, and I know a lot of the history of the man, of everything that's going on, but she doesn't know anything. And it's kind of this crash history course in all the wacky, wild shit of pro wrestling that if you're a big hardcore fan, you've heard rumors about, you've heard, not the source, but like somebody else telling the story of the story. And Kevin still thinks he's live. You are not live. I've been riffing for about 10 minutes. So I don't know where Kevin is. Where is the man? That's the real question. So, oh, is he here? Hello? What is going on? I don't know what's happening. The storm has just... I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so it's good that these stories are being documented. Like, they are there. And you get to hear from the perspective of people. Oh, there he is. Holy shit, we figured it out.
I was like, how long have you been on here, not me?
For a long time.
I was literally going through like my whole spiel. I went through how many movies
you were. I told the people you were, and I told the people you wouldn't notice either.
I'm over it. This is bullshit. At what point did I?
So when my internet came back on,
you immediately got right back into it.
Yeah,
I want to see the exact moment
because it went to like our little like fucking digital bullshit screen for a little while.
Okay, so I'm watching the replay. It literally cut the moment I started talking about the first movie. I went through like 3 movies. It's fucking hot in here. Why is it so goddamn hot in my house right now?
This may be the worst show we've ever done.
It is not. No, believe me, we've done way worse. Oh my god, why is it so fucking hot in here?
So I was talking about the Vince series because I had nothing else to talk about.
Brother, give me the Iggy.
Dude, I was like, well, first I was said, oh. Kevin said he had to show us something and then he was gone.
Yeah.
Well, maybe what he had to show you was going to get him kicked off of YouTube. Who knows?
So where do we want to go? Where do we want to start? Do you
I was riffing for the sake of riffing, so please fucking save me.
Let's talk about movies and movie gimmicks. If I got one for you, you probably never heard about this one. The movie, it's called Power of Love.
Power of Love. That's what
I'm telling you what I just told the people.
Sure.
And you know, in the void. Okay. Power of Love, movie that came out in 1922. Might be, and I don't know what I'm basing this on, but it could be the earliest version of 3D in movies.
Oh, okay.
The movie was shot for 3D.
Oh.
Coincidentally enough. The audience could choose between 2 different endings by only viewing the film through the left or the right 3D glasses.
Oh, so like you had to do like camera 1, camera 2.
You could do camera 1, camera 2, and depending on which eye you were looking through, you would see a different ending.
Was this what was this before talkies? So was this a silent movie?
It's a silent movie.
That's fucking wild.
Fucking wild, right? Even more wild. There apparently is no like current record of this movie on file.
Oh, sure. Well, film was expensive.
The 3D version of the film is presumed lost.
Sure.
So you only had the one version of the film in 2D, which only had the one ending. So that was marketed as Forbidden Lover.
Okay.
And the 2D version is also believed to be lost.
Who gave Todd the only fucking copy of the fucking gimmick?
So there is a record of this movie existing. There is record of review, of attendance.
Let me ask you this. Okay. And one thing I want to do with these, and we're going long, obviously, because of circumstances beyond.
Don't worry. I won't be. I can ramble through these.
I want your opinion on these. Would this gimmick get you in the theater?
What, like this movie has
two endings.
like 2 endings?
Yeah. What if that was marketed to you? Would that get you into the theater?
No.
See, here's the thing. I say no, but I love Clue,
which was which very much was a gimmick.
But I did not see Clue in theaters.
No.
That's the thing. Like I love Clue from a home video perspective.
See, if I'm a filmmaker, I don't want to tell anybody that there's different endings.
Oh, well, right.
Like as a fan, I don't want to know that going in, because one of the cool things about, like the last Spider-Verse movie was there were different cuts depending on the theater you went to. Granted, like the overall movie was the same, but like there were different sequences, different animations. So nothing that really changed the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But still, for me, I'm like, that's cool. Like that would make me want to go back to the theater and see it again to see if I get a different cut.
Right.
Yeah, Blakely, lost media is such an interesting thing. Like, how is there nothing? I mean, hey, in the not too distant future, I think we might be seeing a lot of lost media.
Oh.
From media that came out within the last 10 years. So we got that as kind of the baseline. What I'm getting into now is a man named William Castle.
Okay.
Who was a guy that loved his movie gimmicks.
Okay.
Probably big gimmick guy. Probably the guy that caused a lot of theaters to say, time out, stop. Like, enough is enough. Like,
sure.
We don't want to bring in engineers.
Right.
And have to like change our whole facades.
We're not buying anything else the Slick Willie's putting down.
Like we just want people to pay, show up, and then leave.
Right.
We got to make some profit. We got to get some turnover.
Of course, right. Get yourself some corn.
Yep. But 1958, he came out with a movie called Macabre, which was about a maniac who attempts to drive a doctor over the edge by announcing that he has buried the physician's daughter alive.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, yeah, kind of taboo for the late 50s.
Sure, of course.
What this guy did was he put out $1,000 of life insurance policies for people who attended this movie.
Wait.
And if you died for being too scared while watching the movie, you would have $1,000 life insurance policy.
What? Can anyone do the conversion? Because, like, what if I know what I pay for my life insurance,
right,
and I know how much like my family would get if something happens to me.
Yeah, but I mean, being given $1,000 life insurance policy in case you died of fright, that was the gimmick. Not only that, but to really sell that this could be a scary fucking movie, he would plant fake nurses in the theaters to act like they're taking people's blood pressure, taking temperatures, making sure that they're okay. He would park hearses outside of the theaters.
I like this guy.
This dude showed up to the premiere in a coffin and sat in a coffin during one of the screenings. Like, he loved He loved the theatrics.
I
loved it. Another one he did for House on Haunted Hill, which you may or may not know, it was remade in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it's about a group of people who are given the opportunity to spend a night in this house that may or may not be haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Yada, yada, yada. There's some secrecy going on. There's some shenanigans going on. Come to find out that the house might actually be haunted. And there's a lot of scares throughout it. Well, the movie was promoted as being filmed in Emergo. But what that really meant was in various theaters, they would hang plastic skeletons on the ceiling.
Okay.
And then during various moments in the movie, they would release the skeletons and they would swing over the audience.
Oh, shit.
Sometimes unexpectedly.
Okay.
But obviously, as time goes on, as more people go, they start to get wise to the act. So in a lot of the later screenings, you would have kids throwing their popcorn buckets and cups at the skeletons as they flung by, trying to knock them down. So again, kind of got to the point where theaters were like, hey, we don't want to have to keep cleaning this shit up.
Sure.
Can we move on?
It's kind of like if you ever seen like an actual production of the Phantom of the Opera.
Right.
Like they drop the chandelier kind of gimmick. You know, it's in the same vein.
Yeah. Yeah. 1959, another William Castle flick. You had The Tingler.
Oh, okay.
Tingler, where a man has a surprising discovery. The spine-chilling sensation that people get when scared is due to a parasite that he dubs the Tingler. The man concludes that in extreme circumstances and prolonged fear can cause the creature to damage the person's spine and even cause death if the victim can't scream. Fucking wild,
what a
right?
fucking convolute! Like, this is worse than the Animorphs. Like, what the fucking convoluted fucking plot that is.
In the 1950s, like, people didn't know.
Listen,
you told them something was science and they would be terrified of it.
Listen, the Twilight Zone is 10 years away. Okay.
Right.
And there's some hokey shit, but that's good writing. Like you've got simple is better.
Simple is better.
Yeah.
Well, simple is better, not for William Castle, because this is what he did. Promoted the movie being filmed in Percepto. Castle purchased military surplus airplane wing de-icers containing vibrating motors and had a crew travel from theater to theater, attaching them to the underside of some seats. In the finale of the movie, one of the creatures is said to have gotten loose in the theater itself. And then buzzers were activated as the film star Vincent Price warned the audience to scream for your lives. Some sources incorrectly state the seats were wired to give electric jolts. Filmmakers and Castle, that's actually nonsense. But basically what they would do is like they would have the theater operators start hitting triggers that would vibrate various seats to get people to scream during the movie.
This seems like there's some other intentions besides what they're telling you. Like a vibrating seat in a movie theater. Like is there a hole in the popcorn bucket just next door? Like what the fuck is going on here?
Hey, they're just looking for some screams.
I feel like this guy specifically. Yeah. Number one, he's an asshole. Number two,
no. He's out there having a good time.
This is a guy that, number one, you do not ever want to owe money to.
What?
Because he will not stop.
Oh.
Like his determination is off the chain.
Off the chain.
And number two, he's probably really annoying.
Brother, I've got a few more from him.
Oh boy.
I'll just go I'll go through these ones pretty quickly.
Okay.
13 Ghosts.
Oh. Okay.
Another movie that was remade early 2000s, late 90s.
I saw the remake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Filmed in Illusiono.
He just made shit up.
He was
a fucking asshole.
Each patron received a handheld ghost viewer during certain segments of the movie. A person could see the ghosts by looking through the red or blue side. Without the viewer, the ghosts were somewhat visible. Coincidentally, in the DVD release, it included red and blue glasses to replicate the effect. So again,
fun.
Very similar to the first movie we were talking about, where you look through and you can either see the ghosts or not see them.
Right.
And I think there's a video online that actually shows what it was people would see, and it's just like skeletons and like bed sheets, like just kind of bouncing.
Still, it's that I enjoy because that's a useful that gives you an added experience.
Yeah.
That you can't get anywhere else. So I enjoy that. That's good.
Yeah. And then in his 1961 release of Homicidal, the gimmick was a fright break with a timer overlaid on the film's climax. As the heroine approaches the house harboring a sadistic killer, the audience had 45 seconds to leave and get a full refund if they were too frightened to see the remainder of the film. In early showings, patrons simply sat through the movie a second time and left at the break to get their money back.
That's so funny.
To prevent this in the future, Castle had different colored tickets printed for each showing. About 1% of the patrons still demanded refunds.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I think the last one we got here for him, movie called Mr. Sardonicus, 1961. The audience could vote on the villain's fate in a punishment poll. During the climax, Castle would appear on screen to explain two options. Each member of the audience was given a card with a glow-in-the-dark thumb they could hold up or down to decide if Mr. Sardonicus should be cured or die.
Oh, wow.
Supposedly, no audience ever chose mercy, so the alternate ending was never screened. Though Castle claimed in his autobiography that the merciful version was shot and shown occasionally, many suspect otherwise. A drive-in version had the drivers simply flash their car headlights to choose.
That's fun. Okay, so that's like the fucking Final Destination DVD gimmick,
right?
Where you can go right or left or whatever.
You can go right or left, decide what you want to do.
Or that fucking Netflix show that did the Choose Your Own Adventure thing.
Oh, like the fucking it was one of the Black Mirror. Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about this one too is like the movie would stop at that point, and William Castle would appear on screen, and he would explain the situation. He's like, "You can vote that he lives, or you can vote that he dies." He goes, "So hold up your cards now." Then he would hold up, and then like he would pretend like he was tallying all of the different reactions, and like he would call out to like different people in the theater.
Sure.
And then he would decide. He goes, "Well, I guess the decision is for him to die. So, Mr. Projector Man, could you please roll that reel?" And they would cut to the ending of the movie.
Wow.
And like a lot of movies did shit like that too.
That's interesting.
Not as extreme, but an interesting sort of angle, I would say, in terms of promoting the movie. Psycho, 1960, Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
I would say probably one of the earliest, like, hey, don't spoil this fucking movie.
Totally.
Films. The gimmick for this was no late admissions.
Oh.
If you do not arrive by the time the movie starts, you are not getting in.
Interesting.
Because the way they marketed the movie, you never knew that this particular lead actress was going to die. Spoilers.
Right.
So, like, if you were going to the movie to see this one person, like, she gets got, like, in the first 15 minutes.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So, if you show up late and they're not in there, they're going to go, wait, what the fuck just happened? They're not in this movie. I want my money back.
Totally.
So, as a way to curb, like, trying to get a refund and a way to curb, things getting spoiled.
It's like Brad Pitt in Deadpool 2.
No, that's not. It's very different.
What do you mean?
Nobody knew he was going to be in the movie.
Well, right, but if he was advertised.
I mean, I guess.
You're not helping me out at all.
It's I don't. Anyways, 1960.
I just saw that movie, so.
The Scent of Mystery. I just burped in the microphone. That was terrible.
This is the worst show we've ever done.
It's not the worst show we've ever done. Okay? You lose a little power, get a little rattled, it's fine. 1960, Jack Cardiff directed Scent of Mystery. This is one of the earliest, maybe the earliest version of smell-o-vision.
Oh, smell-o-vision.
In existence.
Okay.
So simply, they would just pump smells into the theater, whether it be gunpowder, tobacco,
right,
smoke, fire.
right.
Nobody liked it.
No.
Again, one of those things where like, do we really need to hook up these ventilation systems?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think the gimmick got so tiring for a lot of theater operators that they were like, don't even bother. Like, we're not doing it.
They don't even do it at Disney anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's shit that's supposed to smell and it doesn't.
Yeah. And then just rounding out a few more things. 1970, Michael Armstrong put out a movie called Mark of the Devil, also known as Witches Tortured Till They Bleed. It was a German movie.
Oh, wow. Oh, them Germans.
It is most remembered for the U.S. marketing slogan devised by Hallmark Releasing Corporation, not the card company.
Okay.
I looked it up because I was very confused and very intrigued.
Right.
I was like, those motherfuckers putting out a movie called Mark of the Devil.
Right.
But the marketing tactic in the U.S. was positively the most horrifying film ever made, rated V for violence, and they would hand out barf bags to everybody who would go see the movie. And if you did not accept a barf bag, you were not allowed in.
Oh, so it was like fucking going to one of them comedy shows where you got to put your phone in the bag.
You got to put your phone in the bag or you can't go. Yeah.
Or you can't go.
They're like, this movie is going to make you so disgusted and terrified.
See, Saw should have done that.
Exactly. Like Saw or Hostel.
Right.
Like one of those. And like, if you don't take one, like it is that bad that if you don't take one, we're not allowing you into this movie because listen, we don't want to clean this shit up.
Totally.
Okay. We've already got this guy having kids throw popcorn buckets. We just got Rocky Horror out of here. We just got to clean up a bunch of bread.
That's right. The thing is, like, all these gimmicks have to be put on by like dudes making minimum wage.
And that's the thing too.
You know,
like a few of them, they would send like actual like production engineers to go out and set this stuff up, but that's like only the key markets.
Totally.
Well, that's only for like what, the opening weekend?
Right. You're gonna get that at a Regal or an AMC. You're not gonna get that at the fucking Hollywood. Like, that's not happening.
No. Then the last one we'll round out with a movie called Wicked Wicked, 1973. Movie's about a hotel manager in California is dealing with a killer who wears a mask and targets blonde women. The hotel detective has no leads, but the hotel handyman is a suspect. The lounge singer also finds herself in danger. So what this movie was promoted as was being shot in duovision. Duovision is simply a split screen. This is a very common like movie tactic. Oftentimes when you see like, you know, the same actor playing two characters,
sure,
they're just, you know, it's just split in the middle. However, that's not what this movie is exactly.
Okay.
Duovision is literally they are showing 2 points of view for the entire movie.
Oh, fuck off.
So, like, let's say, you know, the lounge singer, for instance, they've got the footage of her on stage here and like in a box.
Sure.
And then here in another box, they have a view of, you know, let's say the character or like the killer.
Sure.
Like leering at her from the other side of the theater. And then like it is just this for the entire movie. Fuck. So you're in the same room, but you're seeing different perspectives. Like, you know, there's one scene I think where they're carting a man out or somebody out in a stretcher. So you're watching here as like EMTs are taking a stretcher out to an ambulance. And then like here you have 2 police officers standing next to the ambulance having a conversation while this is going on over here.
The only way that works is if it's built into where you as the audience member are trying to figure out who the killer is. And you're trying to put together clues from their perspective as to who it is from that angle. Like, that's the only way it works. Otherwise, it's annoying.
I think that might have been something that they were going for. I don't know how well thought out it is. However, I will say this. I watched a clip from this movie today. It is by far one of the funniest fucking movie clips I've ever seen.
Okay.
If you're watching at home, just look up wicked funny scene.
Okay.
Hopefully it comes up for you, but it is fucking hysterical. I don't think it's meant to be played for laughs, but it is probably the best use of this film tactic.
Sure.
Just, yeah. So.
Okay.
But yeah. Weird shit. Fun times.
Fun time. We need more. The thing is, it's kind of like we talked about last week with the Nintendo systems and the gaming systems. It's like getting to the point now, especially with movie theaters, like the quality's not going to get better.
No.
So you need something else.
Yeah.
You know, you need a new experience to sell the people to come back to the theaters. And I think we need more gimmicks.
We do.
So I'm here for more gimmicks. I want something new. I want something creative. Please give it to me in, like, I don't know necessarily that we need skeletons coming down from the ceiling.
I do.
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But the idea, I'm intrigued now by how with modern technology you could pull off a dual ending, or you could pull off, you look through one eye, you see one scene, you look through the eye, a different eye, something along the lines like, but like modernize it.
Right. I mean, I still think one of the best gimmicks that was ever pulled off was when Monty Python released the vinyl record that had two albums on the same record.
Yeah.
So, like, depending on where you drop the needle, you were hearing a different album. So when you went and you called your buddy, you're like, "Oh, did you listen to that album? Yeah, what'd you think about this bit?" And you're like, "That's not on the album." I'm like, "No, it is." And you just have these,
See, that's clever. That's wonderful.
That's fun. That's fun. That's a good time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More good times.
More good times. Which you can have more good times by subscribing to this channel.
That's right.
Ring the notification bell. Leave a comment down below. Engage with us. We'll engage with you. Yeah, if you have something negative to say to us, say it. We'll say something positive, maybe negative back to you. Possibly. We love the discourse. We love discourse. Okay? Come have discourse with us.
More conversations.
And we'll have discourse back at you.
Exactly.
And we'll make our points very clear. And you'll just ramble. You can also buy a t-shirt.
That's
as you see on the screen. tpublic.com. Just search Brainwreck TV. You can follow us on social media. Brainwreck TV.
We'll be there. Going on.
We're hanging out.
Right?
Have a good time. Getting ready for the spooky season. Right, we got some fun ideas. Talking about movie gimmicks for Halloween and horror movies. Listen, we got some fun, spooky ideas coming up for you this month. So
we got a lot of things coming up.
Yep. Maybe be doing some riff tracking.
Oh, yeah.
So,
all the more reason to stay alive. All the more reason to tune in next week.
Yeah, don't die.
I mean, what's over there? Nothing.
No. What?
I don't know anymore.
I don't know.
I don't know what we're doing.
Okay.
Anyway, this week I'm Jason.
I'm Kevin Graham.
It's been your fucking show.
Bye.
God.